Hey everybody, it's the second to the last day of the Woodstock Fruit Festival, week 2, 2014. And I've got another Tim here, an extraordinary Tim Shieff from the UK. Tim, were you the top parkour competitor in the world?
Yeah, I've won 2 world championships in the past, 2009, 2011. Since decided to stop competing because I realised how much it is more of an art form to me, and it took away the reason I did it initially. So I've stepped back from being involved with competitions since, and that's part of the vegan thing. Is I think vegans, I'm way better athlete than I ever was when I won competitions.
No kidding.
Now, but it makes you, you dissolve the ego. You don't really care so much about winning competitions and things like that, especially something that's so subjective. It's not really gauged on just trying to beat your own time or anything. There's, So, but yeah, in the past, that's my history.
So how long have you been vegan?
3 years now.
3 years, and the last championship was 2011.
Yeah, I wasn't vegan at the time.
Okay, and what made you switch?
Initially, I read Eckhart Tolle's book, A New Earth. That talked a lot about ego, and I started to learn a lot. I learned more about myself in that than I've ever learned from any other source in my entire life. And from that point, I was then open to more, it made me more open-minded and less in denial of things. So once I saw Gary Yourofsky talk, the greatest speech you'll ever see, which I've shown to many people, and it's helped them as well since, because I couldn't deny what he was saying. I accepted it and became vegan. I had no other choice once I knew the truth.
Was it an overnight switch, or did you have a transition period?
It was pretty much overnight. There was a slight transition. I'd fished for a few weeks, and then I thought, why am I still doing it? I don't need this. They don't fish it. I realised it was speciesist to treat fish differently from other species, and they have their own purpose for being that I shouldn't mess with. And I realised, my happiness shouldn't depend on the food that's on my plate. If it's dependent on that, then I'm not truly happy. And once I realised that, I thought, then I can't. It shouldn't depend on other beings suffering or dying when it doesn't need to. So once I acknowledged that, it was within a few weeks I was fully vegan.
So, parkour is a power and explosive sport.
Yeah, very
Were you
explosive.
worried about lack of protein, or that you were going to lose muscle or strength?
I wasn't worried. I don't know. I always had this inner faith. I mean, once you look into it a little bit, you realise there are athletes as good as any that are on a vegan diet. For me, recovery is as much about stretching after exercise, how much sleep you get and how hydrated you are, how happy you are. That affects my recovery. If I'm depressed and I'm just feeling tight and you manifest these things. Protein isn't the only thing that aids your recovery. There's many other aspects involved, and some people don't want to see that. They want to be very scientific, But that is part, for me, that's part of the spiritual science, is that there are other factors involved in everything, and if you're reliant on one food source for it, you're not really truly connected with yourself. And I just was able to recover. I felt better than ever. I recovered better than ever once I looked into it.
So what changes have you seen mentally and physically since you've been vegan?
I'm a lot lighter. I lost body fat. I trimmed down, retained my strength, more agile, because for me, I don't see any point in being big and heavy. I never aimed to be a big size. I'd rather be small and agile. Highest strength to body weight ratio is optimum for anyone really, unless you're a warrior, but we don't have need for physical warriors these days, just more spiritual warriors, which are more like Cupid than any kind of warrior, I think. So I just toned down. I had a tendonitis in my Achilles. It healed up. Teeth got better. I don't know, many things, more energy. I'm a calmer person now, a lot calmer. I wasn't taking on the energy from those, cheaply raised animals, for nothing. I hate it when I see in a shop someone's like, oh, I got this chicken, it was $2.99, or my dad bragged about pepperoni pizza it was so cheap. I'm like, well, that's the life of the cow. The cow or whatever was so cheap. It's easy to be excited about how much you save, but how can you put a market price on the life of a living being? I don't know. I'm digressing, but
no.
But these are all factors.
It's something people have to ask themselves. They usually avoid that conversation.
How can you put the humans created this monetary system, and yet we applying it to something that nature created? Like, this is worth this, and there's no value for the life of a being.
So, in that vein, you said you've moved away from competing in parkour, and now you're doing more vegan advocacy. Could you tell me about that? Yeah, so I've started to do a lot more on my channel. I turned it, because I have a team channel, Storm Freerunning, and we do freerunning videos, and I created, with the help of YouTube, we created a parkour hub for the world, Flow,
So all my parkour's gone to there, and I use my channel. I have 100,000 subscribers now just to promote veganism. So it's a slow transition across because some of them don't want to hear it, but I've helped some that were ready, that weren't in that stage of denial, to move across and accept veganism. And then I've done stuff with, I've worked with Jamie Oliver quite a bit lately, came up with 6 recipes for his food tube, and they've gone down really well, 50 to 100,000 views a video. Done some watermelon slushies for his drinks channel as well, which is the first non-alcoholic drinks he had on that channel. I've helped him with a vegan menu, and with Jamie's Italian, he created a vegan menu with the help of me. He's got 50 restaurants across Britain and all over Europe and stuff, and he started to really acknowledge that and open up to it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good, and that's for me. You know, you're not your talent. People think, oh, Tim's a free runner, but when someone says that about you, you think, I'm not just a free runner. You know, I want to be more. You know, you are what you do with that title. So I'm a well-known, successful free runner. What am I doing with that? You know, you've got a successful tennis player or successful actor. Okay, they're great. They're good at what they do. What are they doing on the side that makes them what's their human side? What are they doing with that? And that's who they truly are, not just a good actor. Or, you know, yeah.
Well, what I tell people, you know, I've won 10 U.S. championships now, but I tell them that doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's
what you're
who
doing.
I had to become along the way to win them.
Yeah.
So you had to become a certain type of man in order to win those championships.
Yeah.
So the championships, it's not as if, you know, they're not important, because you had to become a certain kind of guy.
Yeah.
And you can take that and apply it to other things.
That's so true. In those moments, I was the one. Like, nothing happens by chance. Like, I earned them. I allowed myself to become the champion in those situations. Yeah, and I can take that. I know I'm a powerful manifestor in life, so I'm trying to manifest world peace right here, and veganism is the #1 step for the world to take on that journey.
And if you put the same effort and focus and determination that you won parkour championships and focus that on vegan advocacy,
I don't have a choice. I don't have a choice, because that's what excites me now. You know, I always follow my excitement and what my heart wants to do, and right now promoting veganism and finding a good way to do it in a nice way, in a courteous way for people that aren't ready for it. You know, that's what excites me, and so I have no choice but to follow that.
Do you have a dream, a vision, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? Do you want to create some big project, something?
I think so, but I think eventually, I mean, you've got communities like this, and you think, well, we could all just buy half a country and live together. You know, in 10 years' time, when people are on this wavelength and they don't want to be. The biggest shock I got last year when I left Woodstock was when I you stopped at the service station, and you're just in this environment of raw fruits and vegetables. You don't notice it normally because you're around it anyway. But when you smell that food and you see the people lined up, overweight, you know, just zombied out in the queue for that fast food, you realise the impact food has on us, and people are so in denial of that because it keeps you in that brainwashed state. And, you know, it's hard, it's the temptation of those things around us that make it a problem. Whereas if we just got together in the next 10 years as the community grows, and we got an area of land, and as people are starting to do now, they're getting lands in Hawaii, and I think we'll come together and we'll grow bigger communities that just live together, and then we won't have to deal with that stuff, and people will start to see the positivity that's going on in these areas, and will make a difference. My only fear is that every truth goes through 3 stages. First, it's ridiculed, which veganism is ridiculed right now. It's still in that stage. Then it's violently opposed. Then it's accepted as truth.
And what's your experience been so far at the Woodstock Fruit Fest?
Oh, it's been amazing. It's very different. Last year I went to loads of lectures because I was kind of new to the community and I wanted to learn all the information. Now I know it, and I feel it just in eating this way. How positive it is. I don't need to learn any more science. I can just live it and enjoy it, and actually this time I'm doing a lot more exercise and actually feeling the benefits of the diet on my exercise. I've ran around the lake twice, and last year I never thought I would have ever done that.
No kidding?
Yeah.
Oh wow, awesome.
Yeah, it's really big for me.
Now, parkour, I know there's a lot of strength, a lot of explosiveness, but as far as endurance goes, do you do any running training at all? No running.
No, and that's what I've really starting to get into, and what I hear so much positivity from this diet is going to help. So I feel like when I was a kid, I was really good at cross country, but because I got into parkour and I played soccer a lot, so I was always running around. I stopped that. I gained size because I was always running, so it kept me lean. I gained size, but I reckon if I do a bit more running, add that to my training, I could become a very well-rounded athlete. And I do still compete in Ninja Warrior because it's a less subjective competition. It's just you versus the course.
Yeah.
So I want to train hard for that and get good and represent veganism on that.
Fantastic. Oh, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, look out for me on that. It's coming out September 15th, so it's after that. Check out the episode. It was USA versus Japan versus Team World, and it is quite a good one to look for.
And you can't tell us how you did, right?
I can't, but check it out. I promise you, check that out if you're interested in veganism or Ninja Warrior or my stuff. Check it out. Yeah.
Awesome. Tell me about your banana.
Yeah, this is awesome. It's like a Rasta banana. You know, a lot of Rastafarians are vegan. Ital is vital, you know, so, and banana being the main staple of a lot of raw vegans combined it, yeah.
All right, man, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, pleasure to be on the channel.
Check out Tim online, all of his channels. I'll put the links below. Extraordinary guy, funny. He's got a smoothie video that I watched. It's just, it's hilarious. And great stuff. All right, see ya.